Alrighty. Okay, so welcome everyone. Tonight is December 14th, 2021. It's 7 p.m. Well, it's just after 7, sorry. And we are starting a little late tonight, so I apologize for our lateness. A couple of technical issues on my side, but seems to be all worked out now. So we have quorum tonight. So we're going to start the meeting. I'm hoping some of our other members might join us. It's not going to be a really heavy meeting. I think we're going to postpone a lot of the sort of heavy discussions to January so that we can get going with the AGM and things like that when we get to that point. But it's nice to sort of finish off the year and talk a little bit about all that's been going on for Christmas. So looking forward to hearing your comments about that. So with no further ado, why don't we just hop right into the approval of tonight's agenda. If you've had a chance to look it over, it's on the clearview.ca website. And hopefully Kayla sent all of the folks on this call a copy. So does anyone have any things they'd like to add or, okay, Jen's going to be joining us, or comment on before we approve the agenda?
It's good to me.
Okay, so if there's no additions, I'm going to go right ahead and ask someone to make a motion to approve tonight's agenda. John, okay, and Heather, you're happy to second that? I saw your hand. And all in favor of approving tonight's agenda. Malin, are you able to put your camera on? Sorry, I don't see you. Hi, Jen. There's Jen. She looks like she's at the pharmacy. Go figure.
I can. Sorry, I was walking dogs and whatnot and quieting children.
No worries.
I was eating mute.
So just tell me yes or no when we go to vote so that I know what you vote, or if you have any abstention or anything, Mylin. Awesome. Okay. Hi, Jen. Thanks for joining us.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. You look like you're across the road from me. So, yeah. And you're at the pharmacy. Okay. So we just approved the agenda. So let's go forward then and ask about conflict of interest, or if anybody has any disqualifying interest. And if at any time you decide you have a disqualifying interest, we can always address it as we go. All righty, let's keep moving along then. So approval of the minutes from November 9th. We had a great meeting in November. For those of you that attended and were able to look over the notes, is anybody interested in making any changes to the notes? Or and if not, would you like to go ahead and approve the minutes from the last meeting? Sarah would like to make a motion to, or you'd like to make any additional changes? Motion, Sarah?
Motion.
Poor Sarah. You've probably been really busy. And John looks like he's going to second it. And all in favor of approving last month's minutes? Okay, so that is motion carried. Perfect. So that's all the administrative stuff sort of out of the way. So let's get into number 5, which is business arriving from the minutes. So let's have a little recap of the Santa Claus parade. I think everybody is pretty excited that it went off so spectacularly. Thank you to Sarah and Natalie and her team. That wow, you guys, you really knocked it out of the park. So I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah. I mean, there's a learning curve there. As most of you know, Natalie was not able to be there that day. So it was a lot of people pitching in without a ton of leadership. So I'm really grateful that everybody did that. And really the magic is that so many community organizations show up with their float to go down that main street. So
Millen, I think I hear you walking. Maybe you can, sorry, I know I told you just come online, but maybe you can mute yourself because I think we I think you're maybe blocking the sound.
Yeah, I was trying to move to a quieter space.
I get it. That's why I'm at the store.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Anyway.
No worries. We get it. We're all the same. Okay, Sarah, sorry. Maybe you could continue.
Oh, sorry. All I was saying is that it happened. It happened.
Oh.
That's my comment.
It did more than happen. It was pretty awesome.
It was really
People
well.
on the street didn't know the difference.
Exactly. Definitely from the audience perspective, it was a complete success.
Yeah.
A lot to ask of the volunteers, without a lot of guidance and direction. So that's something to live and learn. And a little bit better understanding of street closures and how to really do it properly. somebody who has some understanding of traffic, and also ensuring that the volunteers that we do have are going to meet their commitments, because that was a bit of an issue for us. So yeah, but generally we had, I haven't counted the cash yet from the people that have that did participate, and I do need to do some follow-up with all of the different people.
Yeah, you should chase some people.
I'm not going to chase too hard, but I'll definitely
Look
send
at this one.
I'll send them a thank you and a reminder to pay, and we'll go from there. And I certainly think that the parade has a ton of value, and that we'll do it next year. And we actually have somebody who's very interested in leading the committee, not a BIA member, but a community member that's happy to work alongside of the BIA. So I think that that's a much better fit than us, like than having our members kind of be on the street that day. That really just doesn't work. We're too busy, and it's too important a day for us as retailers. So I think that his name is Brandon. He's new to the community. He's excited to be here. He's been here for, I guess, about 2 years now, but his background is in logistics, and he works for Hydro, and he has actually done traffic studies and understands closures. So he's very familiar
That's amazing.
municipal process. And then also I think he'll be really good when it comes to sort of understanding the way the mechanics of movement of vehicles and stuff. So, and just having somebody who wants to do that is just awesome.
That is fantastic news. So we'll be sure to include Brendan in some of our future meetings when we get to the planning stage. That's huge. Sarah, you did an amazing job, and Natalie too. I know before you stepped in, you guys both just hit it like out of the park. It was amazing. So thank you so much. I've never seen so many people on the street. I've never seen so many floats. I couldn't believe the crowds that came out. I think there's a huge expectation this year, and I think it was met, and people are exceeded, and people were so happy. And well done. Well done, team. You guys really did well. And I know, Jen, you were part of that as well. And John, I think you were part of that as well. So, and Heather, yes, I saw all of you walking in the parade. I tried to take videos of it. So it was amazing. All right. Anything else that you wanted to include, Sarah, or anybody else regarding the parade? Any comments? Heather?
Is Santa's sleigh parked?
Yeah, you want to know, because we love talking about Santa's sleigh. So we're really lucky. Santa's sleigh is going to be kept out at the MacArthur farm, and they've got great storage there. David MacArthur was instrumental in getting the whole thing back up and running. We learned a lot about who actually built and maintained that sleigh this year, and David MacArthur was one of those people. You can see, if you saw it, you realize that the reindeer were moving this year, and it's been years.
Notice that. Yeah, that was huge
to him. So I do think that I'm going to spend some time and write some specific notes to people, because the amount of time and energy that some of our volunteers, like David, another person that just went above and beyond the call of duty was Brian Duran, and Darcy Q. These are not members. These are just people who love our parade. And I think that one of the things that we need to maybe focus on as the BIA is gathering these people and more, because everybody does love our main street and wants to see these activities happening on our main street. And I do believe that we can kind of mitigate the stress that we feel around the events by reaching out and kind of building that team. So I think that would be a really good focus for next year.
Yeah, that's a really good comment, Sarah. Thank you. Yeah, that's exciting. Didn't know that the float, we're not going to have it on our agenda every month for the next year. Did last year, right? Santa Claus Parade float. It was there in July. So now we can safely say that the Santa Claus Parade float was not only beautiful, somebody had refurbished it. I noticed that the mechanical reindeer were working, like it was enormous. I can't imagine the work that went into it now that it's a BIA owned sleigh and float. So pretty exciting stuff. So it's nice to hear that somebody's willing to look after it for us and to store it. And you know, if there's something, maybe a small token we can give them, like a BIA gift certificate or something, to say thank you for storing the float for us, because that's a big expense that we would have to incur if somebody wasn't storing it for us. So maybe we should consider, I don't know how you guys feel, just a gift certificate from the BIA or something like that. Sarah, is that something we could do, or?
It's always very difficult to acknowledge volunteers with compensation. I don't know if Kayla has some recommendations on that, but I know if you guys want to make a motion as to what I can kind of put together for 3 or 4 different people, I don't want to specifically name them in case it doesn't all work out, but I don't know. That's always a challenge.
Yeah, you're right. Because if you recognize one person, you have to recognize all people. So I was just really thinking just about the sleigh storage, because that was a big expense that we were worried about incurring last year.
Yeah.
And couldn't find storage. And so it's just nice. But you're right. Maybe we need to talk a bit more about that, because we may not be able to recognize everybody in the same way.
Yeah, I think it's important. Everybody's contributions have value, and to start kind of recognizing some and not others could end up seeming unfair.
You're
It
right.
can backfire.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so maybe we'll
come to this with the desire to help, and I think we all, I think that we need to encourage that, but I will definitely send out special notes, and if anybody has some cookies, I can pass them along. I think a small token that's personal is probably the best.
Okay. And I'm happy to help you write letters or cards if you need help with those. That would be really nice. I think that's a really nice idea. I saw the message in the Echo too that was thanking all the volunteers. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
So that's great. Okay. If everyone's sort of finished talking about the parade, we can move on to the holiday shopping event, which is still going on. So I don't know I know Natalie was kind of running it. Has anyone heard about the charity groups, if they feel like it's of value to them? Is it a benefit? Are they making any money? Heather, you wanted to mention something? You have your hand up.
I think the charity groups that are volunteering at the brewery, for wrapping, they're not getting any visitors.
No.
So they had 0, I think, on Sunday. I think Fred brought some stuff in on Saturday. And that was this past weekend, but it was been very, very, very slow, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a huge success. Luckily, I've been talking to the community groups, and mercifully, they all are very kind and enthusiastic about the concept, I would say, and willing to maybe look at it. I mean, maybe next year the thing is that it's only the week leading up to Christmas, and it's 7 days right before Christmas or something like that. The timing feels a little bit off from what I'm hearing from the volunteers. Would you say that's true, Heather?
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. By making it a little bit closer, like 12 days out, like we do sort of a 12 days of Christmas or something. Because maybe we'll see something different this weekend, but definitely we just haven't seen the volume of people. I think even on the street, we haven't seen it. So I don't think it's just for the wrapping specifically. I didn't see the volume of shopping.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's value to it. Generally, it was, an idea that we had a volunteer float, and we tried it, but
and it's cute and it's all inviting, and everybody's been happy. I think there was like 5 ladies there on Sunday from the Hort Society. Gave them all beers to drink, or to take home, just for helping out. But yeah, they're there and they're enthusiastic. And
so I guess things that could be done better, I think if we were doing a little bit of social media around it, maybe, but again, like we're just kind of short when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it might just be a matter of timing. It's a new program and so I think unless there's somebody who's willing to really throw themselves at it and take the whole program and really drive it, I think that there's very little value.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I agree. It's sometimes we just have to try new things and see how they work. And I agree. We can sort of
trial and error.
Come up with ideas on how we can improve the concept if we think it's worth continuing with or doing again. in the next year. Yeah, we haven't done a lot of social media. I've been struggling. I know Melin has somebody that might be able to help us out with social media, but I haven't had a chance to reach out to them yet. So it's all a bit stalled, and it's partly because of me. So I do apologize for that.
Oh my goodness.
But okay, so that's, you know what, it's good. You have to try new things. So like it is what it is, and it's a really great idea. So let's just keep going and see, like how it says, maybe this week will change and it'll be a lot better, and we'll be able to, get more and more people. I've been trying to hand out those cards to people, so maybe we'll just I'll do a Facebook message and maybe another email just to remind people to keep giving out the little raffle cards, and a reminder about the gift wrapping services and how it's helping charity groups. Yeah, that would be really great. Okay. Anything else on holiday street decor? Move on then. So that was holiday decor. Street decor update. I don't really think there's anything to update there. The street decor is up. Sarah, I so apologize. Your tree is missing its scarf. That scarf got kind of moved to a different location that was for your tree, and I've got to try to fix it, but unfortunately Jackie hasn't had a chance to come back, and she's got all the fabric at her house.
My tree is fine. I wouldn't worry about
I
it.
apologize. I'm really sorry about that. It kind of didn't really work out the way it was supposed to. Other than that, I don't have anything to update you guys.
Comments on the street decor.
Yeah, please.
I've spent some time. I did it before the parade. I went fixed all the trees.
Okay.
The lots of the ornaments have whipped off, and it's just ribbon dangling.
Storm.
And well, it was before that, but even worse after the storm. So I mean, they're not very they're kind of flimsy. They're malleable, like the ornaments. So they've whipped and flung somewhere. So now there's just ribbon hanging. And some of them has flipped up so high that I can't even get, like I would take the step ladder up and down the street, and I can't even get them because they're up high.
Yeah.
But like it was the next day, they're whipped again around the branches. So, I mean, I love the concept. They're really cute when everything is falling nicely, but after a little bit of wind, it's just pew, pew, pew. Some of them have one mitt now because the other mitt's gone.
Oh.
So this is me because I've actually looked closely because I went up and down the streets with the ladder. And then after this weekend, it's even worse than it was prior to. So I know it's meant to go sustain through the winter. It's just not doing too well.
Not doing too well. Do you have any more mitts at the brewery in those bags?
I think I only have ornaments left. I can double check, but like maybe one set. There wasn't.
Yeah, I felt like all the mitts were out as well.
Mhm.
Okay. So
I think
what I do is I can pick them up.
Just before the parade, I did a couple of trees that were missing. So I went back and did some more, and I think the mitts went out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can pick up some ornaments this week and try and put some more ornaments in trees that might have ripped off. Thanks for doing that, Heather. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate that I guess we didn't really think that through when it came to ornaments and trees and them flying around in a horrible windstorm.
Yeah. I don't know, and maybe this has been discussed, but we need is there the plan to take everything down, like when it is time, because it's going to be a bit of a project because we're going to be cutting strings out of the tree.
Yeah, we're going to be cutting them for sure. Yeah, we'll probably, I guess we're planning on leaving them up throughout the winter. So I guess usually we take them down in around March.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I think, I mean, if anybody else can take a look and just see what they're in front of the shops and see what they think. It's just when I go down the street, I'm just like, ooh.
It wouldn't be so bad if we took the ornaments down after the holidays anyway, because the ornaments are a little more holiday focused, whereas the mitts and the scarf were meant to be kind of winter focused, so that.
Yeah, the ornaments are mostly snowflakes, which is cute. They're not like Santa faces or anything, so they're pretty winter, but it's just they it would do really well in like Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, I'll go down up and down the street and have a look too and see if I can replace any of them or take the ribbons out of any trees that are just dangling. And it's good feedback for the street decor committee for next year. That's for sure. So I appreciate those comments and your help. Okay. Anybody else have anything else for street decor? And then we're going to move on to events. I think this is just sort of a standard agenda. So it says events in here where we've just talked about our events. At this point, we probably need to have a planning meeting set up so we can talk about events for next year, you know, what the plans are going to be done. We need to talk about the AGM. Oh, I guess we're going to talk about that later, but you know, maybe we can start looking at our calendars now and start talking about January. It'll probably be a Zoom call. I don't think we're going to be able to meet in person based on the situation with Simcoe. So I think, I don't know about you guys, but if we start looking at the AGM for the January the 25th, which is a little bit more than a month away from, so it gives us like 6 weeks. I was wondering if maybe sort of around the second week of January, maybe we start to get together while we still can, and on Zoom, sorry, get together on Zoom and start to have a planning meeting just so we can sort of brainstorm some ideas, talk about events, talk about budgets. I think Sarah's got this excellent template that she's been using all throughout the year that we can kind of start pasting in. Like there's certain expenses we incur every year anyway, right? So we can start pasting things in, and then we can talk about any new ideas that any of you have. So that gives you like a month, basically. I'm sort of thinking around, I haven't got my calendar in front of me. Let me just pull it up. I don't know if you guys have any plans that you know of right away, but kind of thinking if we aimed for around the 11th of January, do you think that gives us enough time? That's 2 weeks before the AGM. Gives us all a bit of time to rest after the holidays for those of us that are in retail or restaurants that need.
Lori, the
Yeah.
11th would usually be your monthly meeting. Did you just
sorry.
want to use, do you want to use that as a planning meeting and just hold off on a monthly meeting and meet at the AGM? Or would you like two
Great.
meetings?
I think that would be a great idea is if we just did that as a planning meeting. How do you feel about that, gang?
Can we do a little workshop before the actual meeting, and then we can bring the ideas to vote on so that we actually get some kind of nitty gritty discussed before our proper meeting?
Yeah. So perhaps what you're suggesting is we need to have a meeting before. Before.
Yeah, like if we could, even that day, I don't even mind if we kind of do some sketching things out and then we can bring it to the public forum and vote on it in that way. Are we allowed to do that, Kayla?
So I think historically you guys have actually brought your budget and information to the AGM, and that was kind of your public meeting. And then at the next board meeting as the executive, you then voted to implement that budget. I believe that's how you've done it in the past.
I think you're right.
But in terms of just doing some hashing and brainstorming and stuff, is it?
Yeah. If you guys wanted to do a quick sort of offline workshop and then bring it at the next meeting, which should be the 11th, then you guys can kind of vote on the presentation for that AGM and then move forward, as I mentioned earlier. If that's what you're thinking, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay.
So Sarah, you're suggesting that you think we should do a workshop sort of like in the 4th or 5th of January?
No, I'm thinking like 2 or 3 hours. Like I'm thinking that we could meet an hour or two early. In the interim, I can do like the boilerplate stuff. We can go through it really quickly, add, subtract, and then bring it forward in a more public forum and highlight it publicly. It just seems like a lot of tiny details to go through in this forum.
I agree. So I'm still not quite clear on what you're suggesting. Are you talking about the January 11th meeting?
Yeah, I'm talking like meeting at 6.
Hours before that? Sorry?
Yeah. Yeah, like meeting at 4 or 5 and then just kind of going through it and then kind of solidifying it in the actual meeting.
Okay, how does everyone feel about January the 11th at 4 p.m.?
Well, 4 might be too.
Well, hear me out. I'm thinking we do 4 to like 6. We take a break from 6 to 7 maybe.
Okay.
And then everyone gets a bite to eat. I know you're working, Jen, right?
I may not be able to
Lynn,
make that
you're off.
work.
Sorry, you
Yeah.
can't make that work. No.
I don't think I can.
Okay.
We could also do it another day and just do 2 hours another day workshopping, and then that might be easier for people.
Is there a
Or
day?
even,
My relief pharmacist is away the whole month of January, and I'm in the middle of COVID shots for people, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
Okay.
I don't know.
is there a possibility to still have your workshop meeting even on the 11th, and then just before the big AGM where you open it up to your full membership, we have a quick board meeting to solidify those details and present them? Or do you think that's too much going back to back? I feel in the past we might have done that as well at the brewery.
Yeah.
Gone through your presentation, solidified it with a formal motion as the executive committee, and then brought it to the membership in a public forum.
Okay, well, I mean, we can only do what we can do, so let's just stick with the 11th and we'll get through as much stuff as we can.
Does that have to be a public meeting, or can that just be a workshop on Zoom between us? And anyone?
Absolutely, that could be a private sort of workshop working group, if it suits you.
What do you guys think about that? Yes, I see Sarah shaking her head. John, do you have a comment?
I have a accessibility advisory committee meeting that day, and that starts at 3:30 p.m. So
Okay.
that,
Would you be available at 7, John?
oh yeah,
Okay, so if we do our regularly scheduled BIA meeting as a workshop meeting, it's not going to be public, it's not going to be streamed or recorded. This way we can really just get ideas together. That gives us a little less than a month to gather ideas from other members, talk to your neighbors, talk to other, fellow businesses. And then if we have to have another meeting before the 28th, an official one, we can always schedule one a couple of days before if we're wanting to really get the everyone's sort of feedback from the management committee. So why don't we go ahead on the 11th, because you've all got it in your calendars anyway, except for maybe Jen, who sounds like you're going to be up to your eyeballs in shots anyway. If you have comments, Jen, though, I'm happy to meet with you in the days before, even if it's a sidewalk conversation and you have ideas, I'm happy to bring them forward on your behalf.
Okay.
And if that works for everyone, let's say January 11th is workshop, come roll up our sleeves, kind of figure out what 2022 is going to look like. Hopefully COVID will look differently. I know, right? We all were kind of hoping it would, and now we just don't know anymore.
Yeah.
So, and then, okay, so I've got that in my calendar now, and then it looks like we're going to do 25th right now is our AGM. So that is open to everybody who would like to join us. It'll also be online, like in Zoom. So anyone can join January 25th, 7 p.m., the AGM, and that's where we really present our budget and all of our projects for the next year. And that kind of sets our plans going forward so that we have a really good idea what we're doing. That's all the hard work is done in January. Okay, anybody else have any comments? Is everybody clear with that? If things change, we can be flexible. If after Christmas, if things are changing, we'll adapt. We're good at that. Okay, so that's that kind of ties up events, which I took that over as AGM. Public participation. I don't think we have anyone, do we, here, Kayla, that's watching, that's interested?
No, not tonight.
Okay. Sarah, you provided us with a financial report earlier today. Thanks a lot for that. Did you want to comment anything on it? About it? Sorry.
In that report is all of the information for the costs that I've gathered to date. I think that includes almost all of it. It includes all of the Santa Claus parade costs that I'm aware of. It includes the wrapping room costs and promotion of the Santa Claus parade. So if there are BIA members who have outstanding invoices, or if there is something that you know needs to be paid and you're not sure if I have paid it, could you just check in with me? And then I will be sending this off to the township, reconciling the year mid, and then sending it off to staff to review.
I missed the last part. You're going to be sending it off to the township when?
Well, I'll reconcile the January statement, and then after I reconcile the the year end, so once I reconcile December, mid-January, then I'll send it off to staff for them to review. Things that I still have outstanding from staff include HST payments. I've tried to follow up on that a few times, but haven't heard back. So that's money that could be sitting in our bank account. There was also the matter of $8,000. Lori, do you recall that, about there being money sitting in a reserve for BIA? Maybe John, I can't remember who mentioned this. Does anybody recall this? Or maybe this was...
What was it in regards to? Was it a particular budget item?
No, it was just money that was BIA money that was sitting elsewhere with the township. John, do you recall this?
I do. I can't remember what account it was in, but yeah, there was it was a reserve account for the BIA. I can't remember what it was called. Kelly would certainly know.
Because I don't know if maybe that's where the HST money goes, and that's why I haven't seen it. I don't know. So I have to do some follow-up there. Because, you know, that's, if it's $8,000, that's real money that we can put towards next year. So those are kind of my tie-ups for the end of the year. But the most important thing is, if anybody has invoices or money outstanding to them for things that they've paid for, please get it to me right away.
That's me. I have to do that. Okay. Got it. Well, thank you, Sarah, for putting that together. Good news is we have money in the bank. So we are starting 2022 in a really good position.
Yeah, so the balance that you're seeing there is just it's profit, but it's really unspent money for this year. And in the bank, we have over $70,000. So we do have considerable retained earnings.
Wow. A lot of that just sitting there because we haven't done a whole lot of events in the last couple of years, which takes a lot of our budget usually.
Yeah.
But we're going to be in good shape when it comes to Creemore nights. That's one great thing.
Yeah, we'll be ready to spend. And I think you and I, Lori, had conversations for talking. We have had a lot of conversations. Sorry, that's weird.
I saw something going on in my building. Let me just mute myself and let.
We have had conversations ongoing about increasing the levy. However, Lori and I, just on a sidewalk conversation, we're talking about the fact that we do have considerable reserves, and after the last couple of years, maybe this is not the time to look at a levy increase. So that's just something for everybody on this board to consider before we go into our budget conversations.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. We did have that sidewalk conversation, and it's hard to ask for a levy increase when we haven't spent a lot of money these last 2 years, and we have a lot of money sitting in our bank. So it's only fair that we kind of use some of that up before we go back to the membership and say, well, we want to increase your levy, which probably still does have to happen, but just because of the circumstances, it hasn't been necessary. We had predicted 3 years ago when we started some of these projects. Okay, thank you, Sarah. If there's nothing else about the financial report, we'll move on to marketing. Just a heads up for anyone on the board here, I'm going to be looking for somebody else to help me take over some of this marketing because I'm just not able to do it. So I'm looking for some help. I know Malin has somebody that she said might be interested in doing the social media. So that's really great. And if anybody's interested in taking over the website, and because that's really a project that one person should just sort of manage. I think it's, for me, always kind of a last minute thing that I never remember about. But if one person just wants to look over the website, I'm going to be looking for somebody to kind of look after that, as well as social media. And then we can all come together and really decide on our marketing messaging and things like that. But the day-to-day work, we're really going to have to outsource, or get a volunteer to really help us to spearhead that. New business and unfinished business. Does anyone have any new business or unfinished business? Everyone just looks so tired, you guys. Sorry. I just look at you and everybody kind of looks like, yeah, I'm here. I'm here in body. I get it. I think I'm the same. It's just a tough time of year to be doing these kind of meetings and focusing this late at night when you've probably all had very long days. Okay, so let's just say that there's no new business. Our new business is really the EGM and all of our workshops that are coming up. Once we all have a bit of sleep and we all get over the holidays, and all of us in retail and hospitality and restaurants can actually put our feet up for a day or two, then we'll have a little bit more, I think, energy to tackle some of this. So our next meeting then is January 11th, 7 p.m. It's on Zoom. It's going to be a board workshop meeting. Come prepared with ideas. If you get a chance to talk to people on the street or, neighbors or other businesses, or even, members of your own business about ideas that they have or what they want to see done, whether it's street decor ideas or events or just programs or marketing or social media, bring it all, and it'll just be a giant brainstorming that we'll start plugging in all these ideas and then seeing what we can and can't do with everyone. Okay. Does anyone else have anything else they'd like to add or anything I might have missed? It's a bit of a short meeting, but here we are. It's our last meeting of the year, guys. We made it through another pandemic year. Something to be proud of, because this has not been the easiest year to manage a volunteer association of businesses when all of us have never worked as hard as we have this year. I think I speak for all of you because we've all been busting out just to kind of keep it all together, right? So with that, I might just say happy holidays. I'm sure I'll see you all on the street, but if by chance I don't, happy holidays, everyone. Thanks for all your hard work this year. Appreciate it. And I look forward to working with all of you next year. So with that, if there's nothing else, we'll say goodbye. Good night. Everybody go to sleep.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Meeting adjourned.
Holidays.
Bye.